Eli, do you remember how to spell your name?
I'm supposed to be on that side. This is that looks amazing.
It's written down, so. I'm strange. Now I'm nervous. There was a magician inside. It was very bizarre. How bizarre? End of our road. Sir, please. John, take a seat. Take a seat. Yeah, how does it stand? Download. You know what's better than ravishing? Isn't that rabbit, not rabbit and handsome? I'm wearing two. I'm hungry.
I see.
About this two-sock strategy. First sock is so that the rubbing creates a liner. The second sock is for the tall one, is the rubbing no rub. So you're going to use wraps as many times as you take them off. You get the friction break.
Lock it up.
Lock it up. I don't know. Hey, we're all live. Right now. We're on the Zoom.
No, you're doing your job.
I'm on. Come on, next time you throw in a couple more curse words, you know? Don't be so nice about it. Yeah, should I tell my mom? Where's the link? On the email. Where's the email? So ready. I don't think so.
Why don't we look right into the seat? The first one is the trash.
Yeah. It's like a paloma. Where do you think it is, though? Like, show me the water.
Wait, where is
It's
one?
the
Wait, you look like a lady of the
Sawgrass. Where the green grass grows all around and around? This is my first trip. No. You think this is kind of I think this is about
I do. Disagree.
Goddamn Jeff. I did. 2 people my problem. But it's good. And salt is just being
Hello to the joke.
That's all it is. But it's the closest thing. Sounds like public pastrami back here.
Hillary
Says I want to take any conversation on pastrami. I'm in, man. Like lean cut. What are we talking
I'm wondering if she makes like a special. Can't be can't go too close up, otherwise like use your ticket and then you can't get out. And like it's like nope, you're stuck in here. You will sleep in here. You live here right there. Yeah, then I guess you found out. This is an exit. Use your ticket. To be honest though, it's pretty expensive. So like it's like it doesn't take a whole lot to like to hit that $50.
Bruchim Abayim. Welcome, everyone. Blessed are all of us who are here tonight to celebrate Grace and Ilan's love for each other. From a Harry Potter fan and a fish fanatic to the devoted parents of Stella Blue, from Grace's yoga and Ilan's football to Ilani's attempts at yoga and Grace's patience to listen to all of Ilan's stories about what he did when he was playing football. Grace's readiness to listen about Georgia Red, about Tennessee Orange, and Grace's willingness to bleed orange. I think I messed that up. And their joint agreement not to watch the big game, not only in the same room, but probably not even in the same zip code. And you know what? You all should sit because we're family. And tonight is exactly as it was meant to be. Every aspect is exactly as it was meant to be, and tonight is perfect. We who are here tonight are the most important people to Grace and Ilan. And by our presence, we're celebrating the fact that out of all the billions of people in the world, that they actually found each other. And by being here today, we're supporting your decision to commit yourselves to a lifelong relationship. So before we start, let's take a moment to take in the glory of this amazing natural beauty, this marsh behind us, the crisp, fresh air, and a gentle sunset. Let's take a moment to transform ourselves to the holiness of the memories that brought you here and the significance of what's to come. Before we enter the full ceremony, the traditional ceremony, the parents are going to bless each of their children. And we're going to do so, we're going to bless them individually so that as they transition from being individuals to their union, that we'll bless you to do so in sound mind, body, and soul as much as possible. So, Barry and Terry to Grace.
Sarah, Rivka, Rachel, and Leah. May God make you like Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. May God bless you and watch over you. May God shine his face toward you and show you favor. May God be favorably disposed toward you and may he grant you peace.
Amen.
שמח אלוהים כרפיים וכמנשה, יברך אדוני וישמרך, יאר אדוני פניו אליך ויחנך, יישא אדוני פניו אליך וישם לך שלום.
Amen.
Amen.
And though with your parents blessing you, the wind and the spirit tells us that flying nun is with us, but the wind and the spirit tells us that with us also are your beloved grandparents, Mama Joyce, who is with us, and Papa Doc of blessed memory, Papa and Grandma of blessed memory, Ilan's grandparents, Nanny and Zadie of blessed memory, and Baba Faye and Papa Bobby of blessed memory. And also with us in spirit are all the loving aunts and uncles, those true and adopted, both of your hands and help shape your minds. They're all with us tonight. There has never been a chuppah, guys. There's never been a chuppah exactly like yours. And I'll tell you what, there's never going to be one. For this evening, this moment is yours and yours alone. This chuppah is the place where just for one split second of time, heaven and earth are going to touch. So Ilani, I'm going to ask you to step inside the chuppah. And Grace, you've chosen to circle Ilan 3 times as a symbol of the creation of your new home. And Ilani, you chose to then circle Grace 3 times as a symbol of stepping forward as her true partner for better and for worse in all that life will bring you. And then together you're going to walk around the chuppah for a 7th time, and like the 7th day of Shabbat, it's going to be the holiest walk, because that's the time that you are going to be taking your first steps together as a couple. So since the chuppah is small and your gown is large, we're going to ask you to walk. Richard's going to move back and enjoy the walk. Now, some people say that each circle connotes 2 children, so just keep walking. So we're 4 now.
Two per circle.
Just show up, Ilani.
Working for it, y'all.
Okay, Ilani, you can step out. Let Grace stand in the holiness of the sukkah. I mean, of the chuppah. Chuppah?
Same idea.
Yeah.
Same idea. Now for each man, I think each circle is diamonds. Take your time.
You're so good in this dress.
So the blessing over the wine is a symbol of joy, and there are 2 times during the service where we say the blessing over the wine, and this is the first time. And unlike most times, when somebody says the blessing over the wine, usually then they have the pleasure of drinking it. But with this blessing, I'm going to say it for you and then pass it to you. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Amen. Amen. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu al ha'aryarot v'asar lanu et ha'arusot v'hatir lanu et hanisiot lanu al yedei chuppah v'kiddushin, like kiddush, al ha'chuppah v'kiddushin. Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Amo Yisrael, the people of Israel, al yedei, by the hands of the chuppah and kiddushin, the
Amen.
holiness of the chuppah. Amen.
Amen. Amen.
according to Jewish law, thank you. According to Jewish law, when Ilan and Grace sign the ketubah in front of the witnesses and their parents, they are officially married. But Judaism, as it usually does, always does, it picks up traditions from the societies in which the Jews live, and exchanging rings is one of those traditions. And so now you will have a chance to exchange rings with each other. In a moment, I'll ask you, Ilan, to place a ring on Grace's right index finger with a traditional declaration of your intent for Grace to be your one and only. And Grace, then I will ask you to do the same, to place a ring on Ilan's finger and declare that he will be your one and only. So, Jamin, I think you have the rings, yeah? And Miss Stella, together, here. So, before you place the ring, you'll each have a chance to say in Hebrew, and this is what they'll be saying in Hebrew. Behold, with this ring you are consecrated to me according to the law of Moses and Israel. Ready, Lonnie? Sure?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So repeat in Hebrew after me. Harei at mikudeshet li.
Harei at mikudeshet li.
Beta'abat zo.
Beta'abat zo.
Keda'at Moshe v'Yisrael.
Keda'at Moshe v'Yisrael.
Okay, you ready? Okay. Harei ata mikudesh li. Beta'abat zo. Keda'at Moshe v'Yisrael. Ilani and Grace, now your siblings and parents, we're all going to sit down and we're going to allow you the sanctity of the chuppah to share your vows with each other.
No. No, the video.
Oh, where's the microphone?
Oh yeah, maybe we bring the mic.
Yeah.
Here they are, babe.
Here, Reggie, you can do it. You can come to the maybe. Oh, no.
I want the people watching to be able to hear us, so if we need to go, I don't know.
Where's that? Yeah, that don't go any farther.
Yeah.
We got
Nice catch, Jamin.
That's the little boy.
That's great.
Now we can run feet free.
All right, here you go.
Okay. Can you guys hear me? Yeah.
They probably stay.
They probably can. Hi, Uncle Marvin, answer that. Okay. My dearest Einstein. This is about to be chock full of a lot of personal jokes, so just laugh when you feel it's appropriate. My, oh my, what a journey it's been. So often I sit back and marvel that it's only been a little over 4 years since that fateful day when I begrudgingly agreed to go out with you on our very first date. We've gone through an incredible amount together already, from traveling the world to moving across the world, from new jobs to entirely new careers, from being a dynamic duo to a terrific trio with our girl Stella Blue. The list makes my head spin in the most dazzling way. But the main reason I simply cannot believe it's only been 4 years is that I honestly feel like you've been a part of my story from the very beginning. After stupidly refusing to go out with you the first few asks, including to that Santana concert, which I will forever wonder who you went with in my stead. Maybe he'll tell me now. I hate her. I remember so distinctly how I felt within mere minutes of sitting down across from you at Peacock's Bar in our beautiful Tel Aviv. I remember it so well because it's a feeling I've only felt on certain occasions in my life, but a feeling that I truly treasure above almost all else. I felt like I've finally made my way back home after a very, very long trip. I must admit, I never believed in the idea of when you know you know. That is, of course, until that very moment when over 2 gold stars and some fries, everything around me seemed to suddenly shift and unexpectedly fall into place. It was as if I came to in that moment, opening my eyes to an entirely new present moment in which I could finally exhale and everything just felt right. We always say that it seems weird there was ever life BG and BI, before Grace and before Ilan, of course. And I must say, I think that there's something to it. Maybe it's the 200 hours of yoga teacher training talking here, but I look at you each and every day, and I feel like I've known you always, as though our story is much longer than our memories. And you are a very part of the fabric that makes up the woman that I am today. You saw our potential before I did. You patiently persisted, and for that I am eternally grateful. Your patience and determination have been the foundation of our relationship and have shaped my deeply rooted respect for who you are as a man, a friend, a partner, a father to Stella, and a future father to our children. And by children, I of course mean several more dogs. Right on to you, girl. Like at least 5 more dogs. And the chickens, don't forget the chickens, you promised me. And the teacup piglets, Ignatius and Myrna. And of course the 2 sheep, Martha and George Washington. There's also the horses, ducklings, and a cow. And how could I forget our army of little daughters, aka my mini-me's? But I digress. Certainly I could stand here all day, much to the delight of the ladies in heels, and list your admirable qualities. In truth, you are the absolute best man in the world in my eyes. Selfless, kind, patient, loyal, silly, loving, doting, steadfast, determined, and yet still the ultimate man of leisure. You teach me so much as the older and wiser of the pairing. And as much as I might roll my eyes at your alleged nagging, I eagerly learn from you every day. And even though I know I will never hear the end of this string of compliments, likely to be recited back to me as I chastise you for asking me where the scissors are for the 100th time, they are in the same drawer they've always been. I must tell you, as we stand here on the precipice of marriage, that you inspire me to be a better version of myself and have gently guided me to grow so much as an individual these past 4 years. After all, that's what makes us great, in my opinion. We are 2 people very much in love, who believe in our individual strengths in order to be the best team possible. Some might say, like the Georgia Bulldogs. That's only 1 of 2. Partners in crime, the dumb to each other's dumber, 2 Gryffindors, magicking their way through Hogwarts, Greg Allman and Cher circa Midnight Rider, and perpetual nemeses while always remaining the very best of friends. You keep me on my toes, Mr. Gluck, and as we enter this next phase of adulting, I promise to always do the same for you. No 2 days will ever truly be the same as I continue to astound you with my many layers of eccentricity, or creativity and spontaneity, as I tell myself. And you continue to teach me the many valuable life lessons of an older gentleman such as yourself. In this life together, I wish for you to take every chance that you dare, never settling for what you feel is expected, but chasing down your heart's desire with everything you've got, and I'll be right there with you, cheering you on with my dance cardio-esque cheerleader moves, and catching you, holding you close should you ever stumble and fall. What's more, I promise to always push you to take that leap, even when things are comfortable, and the easier but less fulfilling option is right there for the taking. When we first met one another, we were both thriving, living our best separate lives in Tel Aviv. As we've talked about on many occasions, with many a Bordeaux wine bottle in hand, I believe this to be the underlying current that keeps our relationship growing stronger by the day in the face of each and every new challenge that comes our way. We didn't need one another per se, rather we chose one another. Chose to make one life into a shared life, to create the space, time, care, and dedication that a healthy relationship requires. Ilan, Chaim Sheli, I choose you now and always. And for the man who puts everyone else first, dropping everything in a second to be there for a family or friend in need, I want you to rest assured that you have someone at your wing who will always do the same for you. I choose your health and happiness above all else, and will do everything in my power to make that a reality, not just today on this beautiful fairy tale occasion, but even on the days when we're both knocked down, beat up, and dead tired from all the world has thrown our way. And as you always so aptly remind me about myself, once I have my target in mind, heaven help the fool who gets in my way. They say marriage is hard work and can be tough. I have no doubt that's true, but I'm not worried about us in the slightest. We've gone through so much together already, unwaveringly standing by one another in sickness and in health, through the best of times and what has felt like the worst of times. For richer, one day, and poorer, our successes and failures, and of course, every Georgia versus Tennessee game, even when your team is being shut out 41-0. Yeah, I do. Maybe I'm wrong, but historically speaking, I'm definitely not wrong. That sounds like a marriage to me. So I guess what I'm trying to say, my darling Einstein, is that I promise to always tell you where our household items are located, even if they're in the same place they've always been. I promise to always ensure our fridge is well stocked with grapes and not those weird Kroger ones again. I apologize publicly for that fiasco. I promise to always scratch your back when you beat me into the back scratch position. I promise to always keep innovating new ways to take popular song masterpieces and transform them into odes to Stella Blue. Like the Beatles, let it be. To Stella B, take a pee, Stella B, take a pee. I promise to always be a good sport with your constant monitoring, even though you never truly know what I'm up to. Nice try. I promise to always be the WOL to your MOL. I promise to always let you win at bowling, no matter how good I secretly may be. I promise to be the harmony to every breakup song duet that we practice together before we fall asleep. I promise to always be the Gracie Lou to your Lonnie Bow. And most of all, I promise to keep choosing you first as my everlasting love, now and always. Unless, of course, it's you versus my number one ride or die bee, the gorgeous, the golden, the one and only Stella Blue Parker, aka Shayness, aka Shane, aka Stella B. And P.S., never forget that doorway in Paris, because I certainly won't. אני אוהבת אותך עכשיו ותמיד.
Mine are shorter, but I talk slower. Well, before I start into the prepared parts, I just want to, something I've been thinking about today as I've seen you is, I wish my grandmas could be here who are in Atlanta.
There you are. There you are. Mine too.
I'm thinking a lot about my grandfathers today, who I know would love you so much and be so proud. They'd be so proud of me because you're so beautiful and smart. And I feel like they're here. It's crazy. I feel like Vern and Bob are right here with me. I miss them so much. Okay.
Love you.
All right. So the truth is, I've actually only ever tried hard, 100% effort at one thing my entire life. That's not to say I haven't worked hard here and there, but there's ever only been one mission I've devoted myself entirely to. And that's trying to get you to go on a first date with me. And then when we met in the summer of 2016, that fateful night at Clara on the beach, I instantly knew we were a match. It was too good to be true. Two Georgians living in Tel Aviv. My love, from that point on, we were no longer in control. Fate had grabbed us tight and said, let's go. The next few months in Tel Aviv are what dreams are made of. How lucky we were and are to have each other. I remember riding down that Tayelet together on the electric bike with you, the queen of Tel Aviv. And I was the luckiest guy that ever lived. And you know what? I am the luckiest guy that ever lived. And at the end of the night on our first date, when, like a gentleman, I dropped you off at your apartment, I ended up sitting outside on the curb until 5 a.m. alone. I couldn't believe what had just happened. The time stopped and the earth moved out from under me. I couldn't move. That night I wrote a note on my phone that still rings true today. If only the Jews who marched through the desert for 40 years could know that all their hard work led to this, I'm sure they'd be happy. And over the last 4 years, we've built a beautiful life for ourselves. From Soho, living next door to Andre 3000, to Brooklyn, Stella's first home, to Midtown Atlanta and Inman Park, where we're starting the next chapter of our lives. Your strength, love, and tenderness have made my life more fulfilling in every way imaginable. I've learned so much from you. How to love, how to be gentle, how to communicate, how to take a deep breath, how to laugh, how to dance, how to be open to new experiences, how to commit, how to enjoy a day at the beach, and so much more. One thing we talk about a lot, and I think about often, is the idea of contentedness. What do we want for our lives? What will make us happy? How much is enough? Well, let me say this clearly in front of all of our best friends and family. I'm content right now. Being under the chuppah here in Savannah with you and Stella, I've achieved everything I ever set out to do in my life. Anything else is just sugar on top. I found the secret to eternal bliss. But even though I'm ready to stop here, freeze time, commit to a life of leisure, I also love how you have such high expectations for me and for us, much higher than I ever had for myself. There's so much that we want in life, and I make my vow to you today to give my all to make our dreams come true. Despite my propensity for leisure, I promise to work hard every day to give you whatever you need to be happy. I'll always be gentle and kind, and sometimes even try a little tenderness. I'll trust your judgment and take your word as my gospel. I'll keep my mouth shut when it's uncalled for and speak up to defend your honor. I'll care for you when you're sick and keep myself in shape so we can stay healthy together. No matter what life throws our way, I'll always remember our love and use it as my center of gravity. I'll even start doing yoga. I'll always love your family just as you've grown to love mine, and I'll be the first to take your fitness classes. I'll always be available for you and ready at your beck and call, although admittedly much harder to find during Vols and Braves games. But as we know, we're at our best when we're firing on all cylinders. I'll always push you to be the best version of yourself and follow your dreams, to not give up on the things you know to be true and honest and purposeful. To that end, I've started a savings account to buy the first 100,000 copies of your novel. And even though I've finished the entire Harry Potter series, I'll read it 100 more times if it'll make you happy, because your happiness is my number one and only priority. You joke that I'm forgetful. I won't lie, sometimes I forget things on purpose, like my turn to do the dishes. But please know here today that with you, I remember everything. I remember the first time I heard your name and the first time I saw you. I remember that shirt you wore on our first date. I remember the first time we danced. I remember the twinkle in your eye when we went to Paris, and the first time I noticed your freckles on the beach in Tel Aviv. I remember every conversation we've ever had, even the hard ones. I remember how sad you get when I'm mad and how happy it makes you to see me happy. I wish I could make time stand still today, but we have so much living to do. And now, for me, being with you and not being with you is the only way I have to measure time. I love you.
I love you.
Wow, huh?
Let's take it out of here.
Well, you guys
Good.
you're ready to dance. There's a little couple more things. I know that's really, you know, a wedding is a time when you look backward and you feel your roots, and then you look forward and imagine what's to come. And then part of looking backward is looking backward in our tradition. And so I want to take a moment and just talk about what the portion of the Torah is, because it's so apropos for a wedding. This week is the week that we start once again reading the Torah. So we're reading the first portion, Breshit, Genesis, in the beginning. And it talks about how God created the world, the heavens and the earth, the water, the dark, the light, and that things were good and things were very, very good. And in so many ways, marriage is like that creation. It's taking nothing. There was nothing. It's taking nothing. And then all of a sudden you have the ability to create your whole world. A whole world begins with you, and then a whole universe grows out of you. And so when you think about Breshit, every year as it comes round and round, I want you to think about the world that you're creating and the fact that you and all of us here really have started this new year as part of something as beautiful and as sincere and as meaningful as the vows that you just shared. I stand here representing all your parents, and our blessings to you are to keep creating this world throughout your lives, to create many meaningful relationships, exciting explorations, fulfilled expectations, and great successes. and to let a sense of humor and love, which you obviously both have, carry you through the really tough times from one journey to the next. So, as I said, I encourage you to take the story of Breshit as your own and really know that anything and everything is possible between you. So your community wants to now provide you with 7 blessings. It's traditional in the wedding, the Shever Brachot. And for the first blessing, I asked Steve to come up and offer the blessing, the second blessing over the cup of wine. I thought I was supposed to call you Steve.
Slick.
Slick, okay. I thought you grew up.
I thought you grew up.
No, I did not. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen.
Amen.
May the life you share together be as sweet as this wine you drink today. Blessed is the source of life who created the fruit of the vine.
Amen.
Thank you,
Amen.
Steve. Who drinks?
You can all drink.
You drink.
COVID drink. The second blessing. Grace's. Kristen. You can take, why don't you take the mic?
Okay.
Where's the mic?
You lost the mic. Thank you.
Thank you for giving me the honor of giving the second blessing. May your love for one another always be a source of inspiration and happiness. Blessed is the source of joy, who created a wonderful, brilliant world. Grace and Ilan, there is no greater gift than to love and be loved. I am in awe of your calmness, your friendship, and love for one another. I have thoroughly enjoyed getting to know you two as a couple when you visit Savannah. You both listen to one another and value each other's opinions. This alone, being a true listener to each other, will give you the tools needed to continue a true friendship and a lifelong love affair. I wish you a lifetime of happiness and so many little moments to cherish and to remember. Love you, Grace and Ilan.
Third blessing.
Michael and Sophie.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, Yotzer ha'adam. May your journey together be blessed with generosity and forgiveness. May you enable each other to fulfill your dreams, and may you be committed to the paths of courage and hope. Blessed is the source of generosity, who created such good, remarkable people. You too. We've also have a personal blessing we want to give. Marriage is perhaps the greatest and most challenging adventure of human relationships. No ceremony can create your marriage, only you can do that. Love through patience, through dedication and perseverance, through talking and listening, helping and supporting, and believing in each other. Through tenderness and laughter, through learning to forgive, learning to appreciate your differences, and by learning to make the important things matter and let go of the rest.
May you both always remember this throughout all your upcoming adventures. And throughout all these adventures, know that many things in life will change, but you two are each other's one constant. I encourage you to always remember this, and that in 100 lifetimes, in 100 worlds, and in any version of reality, to always find one another as your constant, and to choose each other time and time again. Because wherever your heart is where you can call home. We love you.
Love you guys. I am.
Amen. Amen. Amen.
Four.
You can go over there.
We can go over there.
Can it reach? Yeah. I've got a loud voice. And I'm going to stumble over the river anyway.
For the people at home.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher yitzah et hadama bizlamo, betzlamo, bezelem tamud tadmito, v'hikon lamenu mimenu binyan adayad, baruch atah Adonai etzer ha'adam. Amen. Wherever you travel and wherever life takes you, may the love of your family and friends always echo in your hearts, even across great distances and times. Blessed is the source of love who supports the edifice of love. You get this one. Here, you want this?
That's a real marriage right there.
Just hand me the card, please. May the light of God surround you. May the love of God. Thank you. You.
May the power of God protect you, and may the presence of God watch over you. Wherever you are, God is, and all is well.
Amen.
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 Thank you. Number 5.
Hey.
We'll read both of them.
Sos tasis v'tagel hakara, b'kibbutz b'necha, v'tocha b'simcha, baruch atah Adonai, nasamech Zion b'vanecha. With the strength of your relationship, may you help transform the world in big ways and small. May your love for each other be a source of warmth and inspiration for your community. Blessed is the source of healing who brings well-being to the world through her children.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
May you always find a refuge tucked within your love, a place to hide out and a place to reflect. Blessed is the source of safety who brings joy to the couple.
Grace, our families created a refuge in Savannah as our families bonded together many years ago. Rachel and I are so glad you and Ilan found each other and are creating a refuge of your own and a wider refuge as your two wonderful families join together. Best wishes to the both of you for a lifetime of love and joy.
Amen. Amen.
Lastly,
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bara sason v'simcha, chatan v'kala, Gila, Rina, Dita, v'chevda, chedva, ava v'achava, v'shalom, v'reut. Meher Adonai Eloheinu yeshama, barei Yehuda, v'chutzot.
I'm just going to get ready to sing.
Oh.
Kol
Sason v'kol simcha, kol chatan v'kol chala, kol sason v'kol simcha, kol chatan v'kol chala.
Blessed is the source of life who creates wonder, pleasure, song, and delight. May this couple be filled with gladness and rejoicing, love, harmony, and companionship. And may they be blessed with lots and lots of peace. Blessed is the source of life, who is the source of peace.
And on a personal note, our blessing is that you always choose happiness over pleasure, and that you realize that all the best things in life are hard, but they're always worth it, and you always will continue to choose each other.
Amen. 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 Thank you. You know, so everything went so quickly, and I think these people, these blessings are really what you're going to remember. So now as we conclude, I want the family to come back up, people who are standing here to come back up. ceremony when the light was just setting, and we took a moment to breathe in the air and pay attention to the sunset. And we began in awe of this magnificent corner of the world. And now, before we really go and celebrate this amazing couple, Judaism asks that we take a moment, and again, that we sit still with ourselves, and we think about the sorrow that exists outside of this world, outside of what we've created, the love that we have here. And then that we take a moment, we think about what our role is going to be, not only in supporting this couple as they move forward in building their lives, but really as we move forward in helping to create the world as a better place. So before the final end, I want us again to just take a moment to be present and to really look at what we've all created in the marriage of Grace and Ilan. Okay, Grace and Ilan, the moment we've been all waiting for. It's time to break the sorrow and let the joy of your marriage fill the air. So Ilani, here's the glass. Break the glass and seal the deal with a kiss. Now, baby, now.
Love you guys. Wish y'all could be here. Let's go. Here.
Hi guys, we love you. We're so happy we're able to share this experience with you all. I love you guys so much.
Love you guys. Wish y'all could be here. Let's go.
Snacks and stuff.
Hey everybody, if you'd like to enjoy a little bit of time for cocktail hours, some drinks.